Joining me now is the Democratic Congressman from the state of New York, Dan Goldman. Congressman, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Here on the Hill. So what about that? We're going to be talking to Eric Burlison, by the way, coming up. But what about that argument from Congressman Burlison? President Biden had submitted a budget request of $55 billion for management advisory. The argument is, hey, if you can get the greatest innovator of our time to come in and look at this for free, why not?
Well, the problem is, and you should ask Congressman Burlison this, he has no idea what Elon Musk is doing. I have no idea what Elon Musk is doing. You have no idea. The president doesn't know what Elon Musk is doing. All we know is what he tells us. And how can you determine in the span of hours that something is waste, fraud, and abuse? That requires follow-up. There's no accountability. There's an entire subcommittee on the Oversight Committee,
right,
which is related to Doge. What are they doing in terms of accountability and oversight? Congress has just yielded all of its power. The Republicans have just handed over all of congressional power and oversight to Elon Musk.
Are they doing what the Government Accountability Office said they should, though? Because there was a report last year. No area of the federal government is immune to fraud. We estimated that the federal government could lose $233 billion to $521 billion annually to fraud. The government's saying someone's got to do this.
Absolutely, and I agree. I mean, we need to root out waste and fraud in our government. We need to make our government more efficient. The question is, how are we doing it? And rather than do an analysis, whether it be Elon Musk or someone else using modern technology, which the federal government does not have, to identify suspicious expenditures, then you do an analysis, then you come back to Congress and say, hey, this is fraud and abuse. We'd like to rescind this money because Congress has the power of the purse. Elon Musk does not. And so the problem is that he is just completely recklessly and unfettered going through every federal government agency while he has so many conflicts of interest. He has over $13 billion of government contracts himself. So do you want him to be deciding which government contracts?
So there seems to be a lot of focus from Democrats on Musk, right, and on Doge. We just saw an election in which the two big issues were the economy and immigration. And I'm looking at Senator Schumer and Congresswoman Waters out there at the front of the Department of Education going up on cameras. And I'm just sitting back here thinking to myself, Congressman, does your party need to focus more on the economy? Because there was a new poll out from just the other day. Trump's focus on lowering prices. 66% of the country says it's not enough. Eggs, the searches for eggs on Google right now are spiking. And yet all the focus, or a lot of it, is on Musk and Doge. And I wonder if your party needs to start looking elsewhere.
Well, I think we are focusing on the cost of living. I have repeatedly pointed out that through all of the executive orders, through all of the executive actions, the barrage of executive actions that Donald Trump has made in his first 3 weeks, not a single one addresses the economy.
So
in fact, the only one is prescription drug prices are going up. Cost of eggs are going up. He's not doing anything. And yet he thinks he has some mandate to put Elon Musk in charge of the federal government, when really he won the election, as you pointed out, based on making life more affordable. Inflation is up today. Donald Trump is hurting the lives of working Americans.
Why don't I see Democrats out there like they were at the Department of Education and making this argument?
Well, we will make this argument, but let's not forget, right now, Donald Trump is trying to overtake our federal government. There is a crisis of democracy.
What do you mean by that?
Donald Trump is,
he is the president,
is usurping the power of Congress. He is putting someone with egregious conflicts of interests in charge of cutting our executive branch agencies, both in terms of funding and personnel. He's gutting the agencies that are investigating him. There are 32 investigations, according to the New York Times, of his companies. He's gutting those investigations, and there's no oversight. No one has any idea what he's doing. The problem is not waste, fraud, and abuse, Blake. That's very important to understand. I don't want waste, fraud, and abuse. The problem is that Donald Trump is essentially paving the way by firing everyone that he doesn't like, putting his own lackeys in to abuse and weaponize the country.
The problem?
Wait a minute, to weaponize the federal government, to help Elon Musk and the billionaires, to hurt working Americans, and to go after his political enemies. It's a gross, gross abuse of power, and it's a danger to our democracy. So right now, that is the five-alarm fire.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.